Welcome to Your Magnetic Purpose. This season, we're cutting through creative blocks, working with your influence, not against it, using systems like human design, astrology, and everything in between as a tool and not a rule. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Your Magnetic Purpose, the podcast. I am your host, Ashley Hood, and I couldn't be more excited because today we are going to dive into a 9-part series on the Human Design Centers. If you've gone to my website and you've requested your body graph chart and you're looking at all of these shapes and you don't really know what they mean, this is the perfect series for you. This is not your standard regurgitated content, though, and we're not here to raise your vibe or sugarcoat anything. This is about understanding that this system is mechanical, is energetic, and it is survival based. And where we're going to start is where the pressure starts, the root center. This is the square at the bottom of your chart, the part of you that holds on to your relationship through stress, momentum, and your grounded power. This is how you deal with what freaks you out and what stresses you out. Today, we're going to dive deep into what the root does, how it impacts your nervous system, and what 9 gates mean within the root system. You're going to know how your type changes in relationship to pressure and how to stop letting adrenaline run your entire life. But first, let's get into it. What is the root center? The root is a pressure center and is one of 2 that you have in your body graph chart. The other one is your head center. But this isn't mental pressure. This is physical pressure. It's adrenaline. It's cortisol. It's your body saying, move, adapt, survive now. If your root is defined, meaning it's colored in, you experience consistent pressure to start, complete, or improve something. You have a natural pulse on what motivates your actions, and that pressure turns on and off within a wave. You can create urgency in a room, whether you realize it or not. You stress out your friends, even if you don't mean to. If it's undefined, you amplify other people's pressure. So your stressful friend comes in and you amplify it. You feel urgency in your body that does not belong to you. You probably learned early that hustling is what makes you feel safe. And the root center fuels on movement, not motivation. Again, it fuels movement, not motivation. It is not about why you do something. It's about the fact that you need to move or that you feel forced to move. And that distinction is what really matters here. It governs the adrenal system and is deeply tied to how you respond to your environment. It's also the foundation of all of your stressful habits. Now let's talk about it if it's defined. About 40% of the population have a defined root. This means that you have an internal, reliable access to pressure. You generate it on your own. It pulses. There's movements and moments of calm. And then suddenly you're compelled to act. This isn't anxiety. This is a biological pressure to move forward. But if you're not aware of it, you'll try to drag people along with you at your speed. You might think that everyone should move and handle pressure as quickly as you do. And that is a projection. It is not wisdom. If you are emotionally defined, meaning that your solar plexus is also defined and you have a defined root, you need to be careful. That is compound pressure. You'll feel waves of physical and emotional pressure, and you need to structure, strategize, and rest to be able to move through them. If you have an undefined root, which is about 60% of the population, you don't generate pressure, you absorb it. And you usually overreact to it. You're probably someone who spirals a little bit more and who tends to collapse when you have a lot of pressure coming at you that isn't yours. You're probably the one who tries to finish things just to get them off your plate or check off your to-do list, even when the timing just isn't quite right. You might say yes to relieve someone else's pressure. You rush, you overextend, and you get addicted to the productivity, not because you want to, but just because you can't handle the noise in your body when you're sitting still. It's a trap. You confuse urgency with importance. The goal for undefined root people is the awareness without obedience. You feel the pressure, but you don't let it run your decision making. Now, let's talk about the 9 different gates that are within the root center. Each one of the gates shows what kind of pressure you experience and whether they're defined by a hanging gate or a part of a channel. These are themes in your body that runs under stress. So gate 58, the gate of vitality. This gate is pressure towards correction. You see what's broken and you feel the urge to fix it. If you have this active in you, you're wired for improvement, but you need patience. If it's inactive, you may feel and avoid criticism because that criticism feels too deeply for you. Or you attract perfectionists around you, whether it's in relationships, friendships, intimate partners. Gate 38, the gate of the fighter, is the pressure to find meaning in struggle. You want to know that the things that are hard are worth fighting for. If you have this gate active, you stand for what matters, but you challenge the BS. If it's inactive, be careful of fighting just to feel alive or for validation. Know what you're actually fighting for and have integrity with it. Gate 54, the gate of ambition. This gate drives you to rise materially, spiritually, whatever your values prioritize in that moment. If you have this active, you're restless until you see progress. If it's inactive, you may overcompensate by trying to prove your worth or your value, which you don't ever need to do. Gate 53, the gate of beginnings. This is the pressure to begin. It's for cycles, for projects, for movement. If you have it active, you get things going, but you're not here to finish them. If you have this inactive, you may start out, you may start to fear like you're missing out on something, or you resist starting because you feel overwhelmed by the potential of this project. And gate 52, the gate of inaction. This is the pressure to be still, to hold focus and not to move. And yes, the root center does do that too. If this is active, you're capable of intense concentration. If it's inactive, you may struggle with stillness or feel like you're lazy when you're actually just observing. And then we have gate 39, the gate of the provocateur. This is the pressure to test emotional depth. This is the one that likes to poke the bear. If it's active, you shake people up. You awaken emotional clarity by any means necessary. If it's inactive, you might get triggered by people who challenge your emotional boundaries. Gate 19, the gate of waiting. This is the pressure to secure support, food, shelter, closeness is strictly primal. If you have this active, you're sensitive to what's missing. If this is inactive, you might cling to people or systems for stability, even when it's not healthy for you. Gate 41, the gate of contraction. This is the pressure to dream. This is the starting point for all emotional experiences. If it's active, you need to feel before you act. If it's inactive, you might get stuck in fantasy or addicted to other people's stories. You live for the drama. And then gate 60, the gate of acceptance. This is the pressure to transform within limits. If it's active, you create under constraints. You know how to push the limits and push the edge. If it's inactive, you may resist structure altogether or freeze in the fear of failure. Now let's layer it in with your energy type. because pressure doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's filtered through how your energy is designed to move. So for our generators and our manifesting generators, the pressure to act must be filtered through your sacral response. Your strategy is to respond, not to chase pressure. If your root is defined, don't assume how or now means right. If it's undefined, you're not here to relieve pressure. You're here to listen for what feels good, even if it takes time. Burnout happens when you respond to pressure instead of desire. For projectors, you are not here to carry pressure, period. You don't have to be a motor, so stop trying to act on root pressure without an invitation. This is going to lead to bitterness or collapse. If your root is undefined, watch for how fast you say yes just to get it done. If it's defined, you still need to wait. Just because you feel the push doesn't mean that it is time to act. For my manifestors, you are built to initiate, but not everything needs to be initiated. If you have a defined root, your pressure to move is internal. Make sure that your urge isn't just restlessness. If it's undefined, don't initiate just to get relief. Does this really matter to me is a question that you can ask yourself when you're feeling anxious or you feel like you're taking on somebody else's pressure or timeline. Your signature is peace that doesn't come from urgency, it comes from clarity. And then reflectors, you are the most open energetically and you amplify everybody's root energy. This makes you incredibly sensitive to the collective pulse. If your root is undefined, and obviously it will be because you're a reflector, you must create space physically, emotionally, environmentally. Your clarity takes time, 28 days, not 28 seconds. So you really need to sit and to ground in and not be on someone else's timeline. This isn't about knowing, it's about interpreting conscious and unconscious patterns around you and feeling less stress and less urgency. So, some good habits to get into is to audit your calendar. Where are you saying yes to from panic and not purpose? Maybe add some delays between stimulus and response. And don't text back immediately. Don't say yes on the spot. Use your strategy and authority as a buffer against pressure. Don't try and treat stress like it's a sign that you're failing. And don't use adrenaline as your primary fuel source. This is how people end up stuck, resentful, bitter, and in cycles that they don't want to be in. Don't compare your rhythm to anybody else's. That is especially important if your root is undefined. The root center is where we all feel the pressure to survive, to adapt, and to move. But the truth is, the pressure will always be there. It is not going away. It is baked into the system. Your job is awareness. Use your strategy and stop confusing urgency with truth. Because when you stop being ruled by pressure, you start living in your power. So I hope that you enjoyed the first of the 9-part series and come back next week where we're going to dive into the sacral center. If you have any questions, head over to yourmagneticpurpose.com. We have a ton of resources there. You can book a reading. You can buy your own personalized report that's just about you and read how this pressure shows up in your life. And until then, I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to like, share, and subscribe wherever you stream your podcast. For more resources and tools to explore human design, tarot, and astrology, head over to yourmagneticpurpose.com and book a live one-on-one reading or download your free chart. Remember, the more that you align with your purpose, the more opportunities you attract.